everyone, it's Di here from Di's Den, and welcome to the second Sunday video for, what month is it? December! Wow, where's the time going? It is really heading away from us pretty quickly. So this week I've got this lovely box that I've made, and it's quite big. I've got a magnet on there. You could put Velcro dots on there if you wanted to rather than magnets. It's entirely up to you. It looks a bit like a handbag. You could leave the handle off if you didn't want to put that on there. This box measures, let me see, 5.5 inches across by 2 inches by 3.5 inches high. Just 3.5 inches high, without this height on this bit here. So if you've got something that you could fit in there that you wanted to put in there, you can. So this is what we're going to be making. I'm using, this is done with all old retired product, and today what I'm using is everything is retired except for the cardstock. But I just thought, as a nice box, you could use this as a gift for a birthday, for Christmas, which we're going to do a Christmas one today, or any occasion. So I just thought it was nice. If you've enjoyed this, I would love to know. So let's pop that out of the way and let me show you what we're going to be using. Okay, and I haven't done any of the work on it yet, except for my poinsettia, which I did using poinsettia petals, which is an old set from a few years back, but it just went with the paper that is all old as well. So I got my poinsettia out of this piece of card, which measures, let's see, 4.25, oh gosh, come back, piece of card, by 2 3/4, and then I had a piece of scrap that I used for my green for the leaves. So this is the card, the designer series paper I'm using, which is again is all retired. But I just loved it, and I thought it was very Christmassy. And because I needed a Christmas box this size for somebody, I thought this was great. So this is all you're going to need. So you're going to need 2 pieces of card that measure 8 inches by 7.5 inches for the box, and then for the lid or the closure over the top, you'll need another piece that measures 5.5 by 3.25. For your designer series paper, I'm using 2 different designs. So for the main part of the box, I'm using 2 pieces that which I'm calling the middle, measure 5.25 by 3.25. So you'll need 2 of those. For the side, you'll need 2 pieces that measure 3.25 by 1 3/4. So if you're like me and you've got a directional pattern, you do need to make sure that you cut that on the correct way, otherwise it will not. So I think that doesn't go together because of where they cut out the paper, but it's all going the same way, which is all that matters. So just be aware of that. And then for my top and my lid, you're going to need 3 pieces that measure 5.25 by 1 3/4. So you need 3 pieces all the same length. So let's pop all them out of the way. You're also going to need a bit of ribbon to make your handle. And that again is entirely up to you. So I forgot to bring over my red liner tape. I'm going to just go and get that. My red liner tape, I'm getting very low on it, as you can see, so I'll have to order some more. And that's not available from Stampin' Up either. And I have my magnets here. Now, as I say, you don't have to use magnets. You could use Velcro if you don't like magnets. I have made this box before, which is actually indoors, so it's not even out in here. So what we're going to do is we're going to move all these pieces out of the way, and we're going to bring in our scoreboard and my scoring tool. Whew. Oops. Okay, and we're going to score both of these the same. So on the long side, which is the 8-inch side, let's put that one over there for a minute. I don't want it to go on the floor. We're going to score this on the long side at 2 inches. and 7.5 inches. Now you're going to turn your card so that your 7.5 inch score line is on the bottom, or whichever end you put it on, you need to put both of them the same way. And then you're going to score this at 2 inches again, and 5.5 inches. Oops, my score line went a bit wonky there. Let's turn that over, or if you have to happen to you, just turn it over and gently just rub on it. You can do it with your stylus or with your bone folder, just to take that out. See how that's come right out? Okay, once you've done that, we're going to turn this back to the 2 and the 7.5 inch side, and we're going to mark this at the top at 7/8 of an inch and 1 1/8 of an inch. Just like that, 2 little marks like that. So we'll do that once again. So on our 8 inch side, we're going to score this at 2 inches and 7.5 inches. And because we put the other one with this line at the bottom, so if we'd have put it at the top, we need to put it at the top on the second piece, but we put it at the bottom the same. And you're going to score this again at 2 inches and 5.5 inches. Once we've done that, we're turning back to our side so that our 7.5 inch score line is on the right, or on the end, and on the 2 inch score line end, you're going to just put a marker 7/8 of an inch and 1 1/8 of an inch, just like that. Once we've done that, we're going to move that one out of the way, and we might as well score this piece at the same time. So this piece we're going to score at 1 inch and 1 1/4 inches, and that's all our scoring done. So let's pop our scoring board away. Whoops. And we're going to bring in our pieces, because we still need I need my scoring tool though. We've still got a bit of scoring to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring in our ruler and our scoring tool, and we're still going to score with our small ball, and we're going to score from this corner, the 2 inch mark, where the 2 inch and 2 inch come together, up to the 1 1/8 of an inch mark, like so. And then we're going to score from the beginning up to the 7/8 of an inch mark. So you've got like a triangle. It's not easy to see in this light. See if I can change that lighting a little bit. There you go. That's a bit better. Without the peak on the top. So that's what you're going to do. And you're going to do that on both pieces. So we're going to bring in the other one. And do it again. From that corner up to the 1 1/8 mark. And then from the corner up to the 7/8 of an inch mark. Okay, once we've done that, we can then start folding these ones. So we're going to fold these bits first. So we're going to fold that over so that we've got a valley fold there, and then we're going to fold that one to match the other way. So we're going to fold those ones first because it's easier to do that one first. Then we're going to fold the opposite way. So all the others are mountain folds in comparison. So once we've done this, oh, that one's folded, we need this one. Okay, so we'll do the other one so that that matches, so you can see what we're doing. So on this V fold here, they're going to be valley folds, so fold that first one down and then fold the other one. It's easier to do this with the other folds not done because it just seems to bend into those a lot better. Then we're going to fold and burnish all the other score lines. And this one here. Okay, once we've done that, we might as well fold and burnish this piece. So we're going to fold both of these score lines the same way. So we've got the 1 inch and the 1 1/4 inch score lines, so that they're on the top like so. Okay, and what we're going to do with this piece is on this long side, not this 1 inch side, on the other side, we're going to corner around the bottom on both ends, like so. So that's on the end, there's our score lines, that's on the long piece, not this short piece. Alright, so we've done that, let's pop that out of the way. Let's bring these in, and what we do to one, we do to the other. So we're going to cut away this little triangle, this little rectangle on this end here. Whoops, come on, come out. And we're going to just notch that top piece, that tiny bit, and we're going to notch in here at this line here. By notching in there, when this bends here, it will actually fold a little bit easier. So once we've done that, we are then going to cut up this line here. Alright, and then we're going to just wedge in this piece, either end. Alright, so that's what it's going to look like. So we'll do the other one to match, and it will look exactly the same if you pop them on top of each other. So, cutting away this tiny rectangle on this end, and notching the other end of it, and then a notching in. It doesn't have to be a big notch, just either side of that score line, just notch and take that score line out. Cut up this one on the bottom and notch that in. Like so. Now I haven't gone right up into that corner, so I'm just going to go back in that side. That's better. Otherwise it doesn't sit nicely. There we go. Alright, once we've done that, let's move them all out of the way. And this, we are going to pop on our pieces of designer's paper that go in the middle and on these pieces here. Alright, so we're going to pop that one on, and that one, and that one. Whoops. Like so. So once we've done that, now let's see, make sure my glue is going to work nicely today. Oh, look at that. How gorgeous is that? Okay, so we've got that one on. Let's pop this one on as well. Now, once we've done this, if we have a paper, a side that looks better than the other, which they shouldn't, they should look both identical, but just in case they don't, let's move the glue bits off of that. That's it. We're going to make sure that we keep one side for the front. So, oops, that did a little bit, didn't it? Okay, so we've got our pieces on like this, on both of our pieces. Now we're going to glue those together like so, at that one point. So I'm going to pop glue down this piece and this piece. I'm going to lay one over the top of the other, matching up our score lines here and here, and the top of the box, so that that matches up nicely across the top. That's why it's good to use wet glue, because it gives you that little bit of wiggle room. So once you've done that, you can press that down nicely, turn it over, and you can see we've got a little bit of glue popping out, so we can wipe that off if you have the same trouble. Okay, once you have done that, if you find that one side looks better than the other, just use that. For me, it doesn't really matter. So what I'm going to do next is I'm actually going to glue this on. So this then gets glued onto one end. Doesn't matter whether it's the left or the right. It's just entirely up to you. And it's going to get glued so that this, let's turn this up this way, this 1 inch score line, the very first score line we put on the 1 inch side, is flush along this top. So we're going to put some glue onto our piece like so. We don't want that glue to go into this channel here. So we're going to pop this on here like this. I'm going to pop it underneath. I'll find it easier because I can line up better. So that this score line here and this score line here are even, and then bring that over so that they are even on the sides. Once you've done that, you know that that's in the right spot. You can pop that down. I don't know why I'm getting all white bits off of my bone folder here. So this piece then has like a little lip, if you can see that, like that. If you've got that there, that should be like what it is on that corner. Alright, so once you've done that, we can then bring this over like so. Glue down this one. So let's put our glue onto this section of our box and glue this shut. Now, while we've got this flat still, what we're going to do, and I'm just making sure that's down, and I'm going to open that up first, and just with my bone folder I'm just going to go in there and push down on that score line so that I know that it's nice. So what we're going to do next is we're actually going to put on our 3 pieces of card. So one of these pieces, so if one of them looks better than the other, and if, in my case it doesn't really matter, you're going to round the corners on one of them. So we are going to round the corners on one, and we're going to put that on one side, and then we're going to pop one of these on the other side. So what we're going to do first is we're going to pop the one on the back where we have glued this on. So we're going to pop this one on here, across here like so. Once that's on there nicely, okay, we're going to turn our box around this way, and with these being able to push in, we can push that over like that, and we can see that that's going to come right over like there. So we need to put our magnets on here, so we're going to close that down like this, and what I'm going to do is from this score line here, I'm going to measure in 2 inches and just put them up, because you're not going to see this because you're going to be oh no, that's not 2 inches, it's 1.5 inches. Where's my rubber? There we are. Sorry, I've got that wrong. It should have been 1.5 inches in. So 1.5 inches in from that score line, 1.5 inches in, and then from the other end the same, 1.5 inches in. And then what we're going to do is we know this is 2 inches, so we want it 1 inch down. So I'm going to put my mark just there so I know where it is, and the same on this side. So I'm going to put my mark here and here. So what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to mark this one the same. It won't be exactly the same, but you will have a rough estimate of where you're going to put this, and you're going to put this on the outside. So on the outside we're going to mark this the same, 1.5 inches in from the end and 1 inch down. So you know where you're going to pop these roughly. Now this is just a guideline, because once you've put your magnets on, you're going to need to make sure that everything lines up nicely. So okay, so once we've done that, we know that it gives us a rough estimate. So we're going to put our magnets on this side where are my magnets? So I've got 4 pieces of magnet here, and you just need to take the 2 of them apart on each side like this. Okay, and we're going to use a glue dot. Now you can use a glue dot, or you can actually, I'm just putting my pin in my glue, or you can use double-sided tape if you wish. I prefer to just use a glue dot because we're going to just pop this on here. And we're going to put our glue dot on this one here, on our mark, on our main box, on each one where we've got our thing, and we're going to pop one of our magnets on there like so. Alright, once we've done that, we're going to close our box up over like this, and we're going to put a glue dot on this side as well then, and it's going to be roughly in the right place. So we're going to pop our glue, we can do that while it's flat, put our glue dot over where our mark is. Okay, now it will not always line up 100%, but don't worry about that, because what we're going to do is we're going to close our box over like so, and we're going to take our magnet and let it drop on top. Just let it drop on top. Then you'll know that it is in the correct spot. Alright, so once we've done that, we can press those magnets down nice and tight, and while the back box is still flat, we can pop our square piece with our square edges here, and then one with our rounded edges over this outside here. So let's do that now. So we've got our box done. I just find that the easiest way to put my magnets on, and I know that they are going to match up. So for me, that's just the way I do it. It's not everybody's way of doing it, but as long as I find that's the easiest way for me, that's the way I do it. I will show you how I do it. You may find it an easier way, that's fine. Now with this, you're going to turn this way. So if you had a directional paper here, you needed to make sure that your curves were in the landscape design. Because of the way my holly leaves and everything are on this piece, I don't need to worry too much. Okay, so we've got that piece on there like so, and we can press that down nice and tight as well, and that looks so good because our magnets are closed inside. So what I'm going to do next is while this box is still flat, it's just easier to do, I'm turning it up this way, and I'm going to use a bit of tape. This red liner tape I find is just fantastic for this. I don't like red liner tape very much because I have so much trouble getting the red tape off the top. I'm going to put that piece just in that score, between those 2 score lines. So you need about, I don't know, an inch, whatever that is, 2.5 centimetres, approximately. I mean, don't quote me on that piece, so it's just to pop that in there like so. Now I need my bone folder because I need to press that down really, really tightly like that. And then I'm going to I'm going to run my ribbon out a little bit. Now I have a sneaking suspicion that this ribbon has a right and a wrong side. Oh, I don't think it does. And we're going to bring in our tool, and we're going to just pull off that tape, which is not my favourite job to do, I'll tell you that now. I always have so much trouble getting the tape to release off the top. There we go, got it. A piece of tape, and it always sticks to me too. So I'm going to pop my piece of ribbon on there, like so. And then I'm going to bring this up and over. Now it depends on how big a loop you want on the top to what you want. So have a bit of a ganza with it, how you think Yes, that should be enough, or a bit more. If you're happy with that, we just cut that off, and then we can just bring that around so that it's not twisted, and we bring it right around like this. And I just find it so much easier because I can lay this flat and I can see what I'm doing of in here. See, not that I can get on any better with this tape, but there you go. There, oops. Yay, I got it off. Get it off my finger now. And then I can bring this around and pop that into position on this side too. So I can then lift that up a tiny bit so I've got it in there, because we don't want that red line tape showing. Once we've pressed that down nice and hard, I can then give that a good squash down. Now red liner tape does actually glue down a lot much nicer. So then I can bring that around and I can say, oh yeah, look, there's my handle on the top. So before I do that, I'm just going to leave that on like that. Oh, should have left it like that, sorry. And see, my magnets work like this. So we're going to bring this around, and our front piece, we're going to move out of the way. We're going to move our sides out of the way, and we're going to bring in our back piece so that we can get this nice and level. If you do it this way, you'll find that this levels up so much nicer. I've found it does, and it doesn't leave you with these tabs showing on the inside. I have been doing this a little while now. I saw somebody do it. Can't remember who it was, and they explained to me on theirs that they found that they could get this square so much squarer when they did it this way. So I've popped my tabs on there. They don't need to be down too hard because we're going to press from the inside. We can then pop our glue onto the bottom, and this is the front. So when we pull that over, it's going to be nice and square like this, but it also looks even around the front. Bring this open, pop our bone folder inside, and we don't have anywhere for anything to catch on it. I don't know if you can't even see in that side that. It's really, really dark in there because of the colour. But it just looks so much better. So let's move them out of the way. Get off my fingers. That's the other thing I don't particularly like about the red liner tape, is it gets static on it really badly. So you could put a tag on here if you wanted to say Merry Christmas or Happy Birthday or whatever. You could leave it like that, and as I say, you could put Velcro dots there if you wanted to. But I'm going to put this onto the front of mine just because I think it's for a Christmas thing and I think it looks really nice. And I'm actually going to glue this down flat, so I shouldn't have put my pin in my glue. So I'm going to glue this down flat on the front of the card, mainly because someone's going to pull on it and you don't want them to pull it off. So I'll pop that on the front of our card like so, or box I should say. And that is our box. I've just got one little gem in the middle which I've already put in, and that is our box. What do you think? I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I love it. I love the way it turned out, and it's a lovely size. You can fit a lot of sweets in there, or a nice purse inside here with some gift voucher in it if you wanted to. Hankies, socks, I don't know, all sorts of lovely things you could put inside this box. And as I say, putting the magnets on that way, I find that the easiest way to pop them in there and know that they're going to work really well. So by measuring in and down and in and down and putting one set on, and then when you put your dots on the other one, just let them fall on so that it will land where it's supposed to land, and it will work really well and you won't have to worry about them being in the wrong spot. So if you've enjoyed today's box make, I would love you to give me a thumbs up and leave me a comment. If you've not subscribed to my channel already, I'd love you to subscribe. This will help me get, better coverage, and also it helps you because it means that you won't miss out on any of my other projects. And if you've enjoyed this and you'd like the written tutorial for this, head down below here to Die Stamp for Stamping, Crafting and Tutorials. There you'll find the written tutorial, and that's on my Facebook group. If you're not a member, you need to join, and you do need to answer the question to become a member. Once you're a member, everything in the group, all the tutorials are free, and you are welcome to upload photos of your projects, and they don't have to be projects that we've made. They can be projects that you've made. As long as you don't leave links to where you got them from. That's the only stipulation I have in my rules, really, is no hurtful feelings of other people. You know, if you don't like what somebody has made, don't mention it. Just let it go. If you've liked it, give them a lovely comment. And also all of my photos, the same. No harmful words. And if you would like to be part of my team, I would love you to be a team member. I am based in Australia, so I can only have team members in Australia. And I would love you to be part of my Stampin' Up team. If not, if you would just like to purchase the products and you'd like to purchase online yourself, just go to the Stampin' Up website, order your parts, and where it says demonstrating, put my name in there, just put in Diane Furniss. And I would be so grateful for the commission on your sales. I would love that as well. So if you've enjoyed all of this, and we've got two more projects to go for the year. And I will next Sunday, I think, which is the last Sunday, because I think there's a Wednesday in the middle of that, I will be putting up the dates of when I will be finishing. And I think that is the last Sunday before Christmas, and the dates of when we come back, because I do need a break to get rid of get all of my Christmas things done as well. Okay, as I say, I would love to hear from you all, and I will see you all again next week with another project. So bye for now.